Egypt and Russia have signed a final contract for building Egypt's first nuclear power plant. The contract came through when Russian President Vladimir Putin was in Cairo for a visit. The contract, which is believed to be worth $30 billion, comprises of the plant to be built in Daba on the Mediterranean coast. The deal is expected to increase Russia's economic and political influence in West Asia. The two leaders also spoke about the new breakthrough in the relations between the two countries.
العلاقات التي تجمع بين البلدين ذات تاريخ طويل وتتسم بالقوة والاستمرارية سواء في إطارها السياسي من خلال التنسيق المستمر إزاء مختلف القضايا الإقليمية أو في إطارها الاقتصادي الثنائي فمن السد العالي في أسوان بجنوب مصر مرورا بمجمع الحديد والصلب في حلوان وصولا لتوقيع عقد إنشاء أول محطة نووية في مصر على ساحل البحر المتوسط.
Putin also addressed the major issue at hand of worldwide condemnation on the recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital.
Что такие шаги являются дестабилизирующими, не помогают разрешению ситуации, а наоборот провоцируют конфликт.
Russian defense minister has now said that Moscow's troops stationed in Syria have already started returning to Russia. The defense minister, Sergei Shoigu's statement comes after President Vladimir Putin made a surprise visit to Syria and ordered a significant part of Moscow's military contingent there to start withdrawing, declaring that their work was largely done. The Kremlin had launched its first airstrikes in Syria in September 2015 in its biggest Middle East intervention. Now, with the mission more or less fulfilled, Putin has said that he wants to help mediate a peace deal in the region. Syria has highly welcomed Putin's move. This is yet another proof of how Russia will conduct the peace negotiations, despite the Syrian government delegation deciding to go back to the UN-sponsored negotiating table in Geneva.
We want Syria to be safe, for her people to come back home. And any step, any procedure that would contribute to the fact that Syria is peaceful, so that people inside and outside can come back and feel peace and rebuild their country, any step in that direction, especially the militias that are creating chaos and killing people there, could be removed.
Meanwhile, Pentagon voiced skepticism about Russian President Vladimir Putin's announcement that he had ordered the partial withdrawal of troops from Syria. Pentagon spokesman Major Adrian Raknai said such declarations were not necessarily reflected by action. He said, and I'm quoting, Russian comments about removal of their forces do not often correspond with the actual troop reductions and do not affect U.S. priorities in Syria. A United States official told the media that Putin was likely to carry out a token withdrawal of some aircraft and then follow up by demanding the United States to pull out its forces of Syria. As part of his three-nation day-long trip, Russian President Vladimir Putin also met with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The two leaders spoke about U.S. President Donald Trump's Jerusalem move and the Syrian conflict. Erdogan and Putin both agreed that Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital escalates tensions in an already provoked region.
Хотел бы отметить, что и Россия, и Турция считают, что решение администрации Соединенных Штатов признать Иерусалим в качестве столицы Израиля и перенести туда американское посольство не помогает урегулированию ситуации на Ближнем Востоке, а наоборот дестабилизирует и без того сложную обстановку в регионе. По сути, может перечеркнуть перспективы палестино-израильского мирного процесса.
Erdogan has also called for a summit of Islamic countries on December 13th in Istanbul, regards to the same issue, and hopes that the summit would be a turning point in the current situation. As for Syria, The two presidents have worked closely to resolve the conflict in the war-torn nations. And now, with the mission mostly accomplished, Putin has ordered the withdrawal of major contingent of its troops from Syria. After the talks, Erdogan said that the next step in resolving the Syrian conflict would be to hold a summit in the Black Sea resort of Sochi as soon as possible. Last month, Putin held a summit with Iran's President Hassan Rouhani and Erdogan in the city to discuss Syria.